What's up, insiders? I hope you're doing well. On this Tuesday, it is May 30th, 2023, at approximately 4:05 p.m. Central Time in the wonderful city of Houston. And I wanted to come to you quickly and provide this quick little video providing some insight on how to use the Chattington Post. And not only that, but I'll also cover Secure World, Houston at the very end, and as well as what's up and coming. With me and with the Chattington Post and that kind of stuff. So, if you don't know, the Chattington Post, what it's really about is about me sharing not only things that I find interesting and valuable with you, the insiders, when it comes to cybersecurity or technology or digital innovation, AI news, all kinds of random stuff I'm into, but also to teach you how to do what I do and how to learn what I learn and find what I find. I want to empower you. Basically, if I'm doing my job right, you replace me and you just kind of learn and do all this stuff on your own. And maybe you support me because you think I'm funny, or maybe you remember me. But part of that is this save tabs down here, which is the only thing locked behind a paywall on the Chattington Post, which is my saved tabs. And what this is because it's basically like it's my secret sauce. It's my favorite, my famous recipe or whatever. And what it is it's the tabs that I open every single day in just like in every time I open a new browser. These are my startup tabs. Today we're using Windows. Most of the time I use Mac, but I'm too lazy to switch over to the laptop. So I wanted to browse through these tabs with you real quick, and just kind of show you what they are. I'm going to give them away to you for free. So if you're watching this video and reading this article, you got it for free. I don't know if I'll put the entire list down below. I'll point to the save to this paywall. We'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to give everything away for free. But I mean, I guess we'll just see where it goes. So I wanted to go through these real quick and just kind of see if anything jumps out. And then I also will go over Secure World at the end, and yeah, we'll call it from there. And so first up, I have Reddit, which obviously it's a great place for finding all kinds of random information. I wouldn't consider it all gospel, and this is not really something that I don't really spend a lot of time on Reddit anymore. It's more of an after hours or downtime sort of thing for me. Um, it replaced Dig for me, digg.com. So I've been doing these save tabs, just so you know, for a very long time, for as long as I can remember, as long as I've had laptop. So probably 20 years or so. 20 plus years I've had saved tabs, and they're constantly changing. And the way it works is basically if it doesn't provide value for me after so many days, it's kind of like that Steve Jobs quote, then it comes off the list. And then if I find myself going to a website more and more often, it goes on the save tabs list. So Reddit is still providing me value until something replaces it. Gizmodo, I visit Gizmodo all the time. They have some great articles on here, and I'll just, I quickly, this is what I do. This is literally as fast as it goes. I see what's going on, see if anything catches my eye, and then we go from there. Then next, I have Teslarati. So I'm a Tesla owner, both in the way of stock, but also very little, but also in the way of I have a Model Y. And so I always like to pay attention to what's going on with here. Tesla tire safety comes in a new update, but Teslarati primarily around Tesla news and stuff like that. Engadget, so self-explanatory. This is a technology and a techie blog. I will always quickly scroll through here and see what's going on. YouTube, self-explanatory. I usually will save this. I'll drag it down. I'll even drag it down to the end like that, because it's going to take some time. And I actually find myself not watching much YouTube anymore, which is kind of a shame, because there's so much valuable content on there. But I've just been so all over the place lately. The Verge, obviously, iconic. They do some great reviews of new products and things like that. I really like their writing. I really like their design and layout of the website. Typically, I have Pi-hole up, so let me refresh there. It'll be gone. So yeah, my ads are kind of plus and minus. I don't know what's going on with my Pi-hole today, but obviously, top article right now is top AI researchers and CEOs warn of risk of extinction in 22-word statement. Which I don't even engage with these clickbaity articles very much anymore, because it's very clear that everyone is now jumping on this AI hype train just to illicit engagement and views and all that kind of stuff. And there goes a lot of the truth in the matter. So once you dig down into these kind of things, like if I go read this 22 word statement, it's like they pick out the one thing and they just sensationalize it, and it's kind of frustrating. But 9 to 5 toys, this is just because I have a gadget fix and I like to see what deals are going on. I don't really buy much, but I like to shop. I like to window shop and see what's going on. So every now and then you can see some good deals. Or if I have a friend that's looking for something like these AirPods Max, my father wanted a pair of these. So, I sent it to him that they have a deal going on or something like that. Electric, which is more broad, uh, it's more broader than Teslarati. It's not just exclusive to Tesla. It covers all kinds of electric stuff, and I'm more I like it for e-bikes. So I have an e-bike too, and I like to come through here every now and then and see what's new on the e-bikes and how this is all progressing. And they got some neat stuff on here from time to time. Inside EVs, similar concept. They cover more than just Tesla, and I like to browse through here and see what's going on. Bleeping Computer. This is getting into the cybersecurity realm. So Bleeping Computer puts out some great stuff on the latest threats and in issues and things like that, which I like to keep up on as a CISSP. And I was full time cybersecurity. I don't know what I am anymore, but I still like to pay attention to it, and I like to share this information when I find something um, critical, or I think that needs to be shared. I'll share it with either my LinkedIn or here on the Chattington Post. ZDNet, I find ZDNet a lot to be relevant a lot these days. They have great information, great articles. I've been really liking what they've been putting out. Will Apple's Reality Pro signal the beginning of the immersive internet? So yeah, if you don't know, they're talking about next week on June 5th or 6th, WWDC 23. Allegedly, the much rumored about augmented reality headset could be coming. I'm starting to think maybe not. Like, I don't know. I think I don't know. It could be a surprising thing. It feels like one of those things that we've been talking about for a long time, and I don't know if Apple's brave enough to do it anymore. These publicly traded companies really have problems taking risk and really have problems doing new things like this. So I don't know. They'd have to really have it right, and they'd have to really have the buy-in on the board and all that kind of stuff, which it seems to be more and more difficult to get anybody to do anything risky in these publicly traded companies. The more and more removed the founders or whoever brought them there get. Speaking of the devil, NVIDIA crushing it. They're crushing it. So if you're not paying attention to NVIDIA, you should be. NVIDIA unveils new kind of Ethernet for AI. So if you didn't see this, it's like lossless transmission. It's being able to reintegrate into old data centers for like faster transmission speeds, like world's first 51 terabyte. That's a terabyte. Or is that terabit? I don't know. Either way, it's a lot. Ethernet switch built for AI networks, and it's supposed to look like retrofit somehow. Browsed through this a little bit earlier and was digging into it. NVIDIA doing some craziness. They really, I mean, it's not news to me. I've been paying attention and watching them slowly get ready to dominate the AI world for several years now, and glad I bought NVIDIA. Not a lot, but I have bought NVIDIA. They're doing great. But ZDNet. Space City Weather, just because I'm here in Houston, and Space City Weather does a great job of providing me like a quick headline of like what's going on. Summer light weather lies, yeah. And this is a great website for Houston weather. Serve the home. So I have a home server here. I have a couple home servers here as well as stuff like that. And I always like to see what's going on. Again, this is more kind of a window shoppy thing for me, but I like to see what's coming down the pipe. And I mean, it's crazy just to read about 400 gigabit switches. Like, it's nuts. I just got 10 in my house, and I feel like I'm in the future. And this people are already doing 400. So it's crazy. Uncrate, this is another dream shopping website. I like to see what's going on in here. They have some cool stuff. I never can afford to buy anything here. This is literally like reading the Rob report, or it's something that I've always done. I've always looked at bigger things and I don't know. It's nice to dream like you won the lottery a little bit sometimes, you know. And so I like to come on here and browse and see what I can't afford, like this $185 million house. Uh, yeah, my lease is up in August. Depressing. Now to the good. This is a good one. Allinfosecnews.com. This is a great aggregation site that I find a lot of news from, and I find a lot of interesting things from with the way of cybersecurity in the way of cybersecurity, etc. And so, if you're in cybersecurity, you should be paying attention to this one as well as malware.news. A bunch of different ways to look through this, as well as keeping up to date of what's going on. Um, you can sort it by today, by the week. They have a lot of great malware analysis. So if that's your wheelhouse, this is you. U.S. military intelligence also targeted by Chinese hackers behind critical infrastructure compromise. So if you don't know, we're basically at war with China on this kind of stuff. They haven't been playing nice, and there's an increasing level of aggressiveness towards us, which I wish they'd start playing nice. Futurism. This one's kind of like a scary website sometimes. they they put out some crazy stuff. Maniac conspiracy theorists think the space station is actually underwater. All right, I'm down the street from NASA, so I don't know about all that. But so be forewarned. Like this is a crazy website. They put out some stuff, but then they also do this like best air purifiers. So I think sometimes it's also a little bit of like a clickbait, or they're trying to like farm engagement or whatever. Soldiersystems.net. This is a website that I've kept up with for a long time. Um, and I really like it. It's more based towards military, which no, I'm not in the military, nor have I ever been in the military. But I like to see I like to see what they're using technology wise, and I like to keep up with what's going on. And it's always been sort of an interest of mine on the background. They don't have just gun stuff, but they also do have cybersecurity stuff, and they kind of have some just interesting information that you learn every now and then. Like I don't even know what this is, vehicle squad or person. I mean, it's like you can learn some stuff. The kind of digitalization. Um, Advanced battlefield laser detection system to counter the growing weaponized lasers and laser designators. Okay, so if you're getting laser designated, it'll let you know, which is good. Now, why is that relevant to me? Well, the government does a lot of funding that we can learn, and a lot of research into different technologies that we can learn from, and in the oil and gas industry and critical infrastructure and things like that. Um, and so I like to pay attention, and figure out what's going on, because it's almost a little foreshadowing, especially when it comes to um, some, regulations and things like that. It's just it's something I'm curious about. Cybernews.com. This is a relatively new one, but it's been doing a great job. And this immediately has I just talked about NASA. So NASA nails fastest data transmission in space, 1,000 movies in 6 minutes. So I was just talking to a buddy about this similar problem, was how do we do space communication, and boom, there it is. So I'll have to save this and send it to him. Off grid web. It's just like another website for prepper stuff, and I like to see what gear's going on out here. I'm a gear head, as far as like I like to buy different jackets and weird stuff, and I don't know. I'm just always looking at things like this, and keeping up with the latest and greatest. Hackaday has been a great has been a great website. They have some really cool stuff on here. The first thing that catches my eyes right here is DIY 3D printed rain gauge connects to Home Assistant. I don't know if you can see right here behind me on the webcam. There it is. That's a 3D printer. So they have some stuff sometimes around here. South Korea successfully sends. I'm trying to go faster. I see the time's 14 minutes. So I'll try to speed this up here. News.ycombinator.com/news. Another great source for cybersecurity news and stuff like that. Unify OS. This is my camera system. YouTube that I drug down here. This is color. This is the Chattington Post color hex. So I know it when I'm designing stuff. Houston Chronicle, because I'm in Houston and I think they're a great source of news and information for the area. But they do some pretty good jobs, pretty good job reporting. And that is the end of the save tabs. Sorry, I sped up at the end there, but I looked up and saw the time. So yeah, so that's the save tabs, and that's basically what I do every day. So 14 minutes is I run through those really quick and see if anything catches my eye. You saw two different things catch my eye, and so that'll be like what I dig into from here on, and see about sharing and stuff like that. New era of podcast mergers is just beginning. I don't know what that means. Purely functional data structures, the physics of information technology. Sorry, I was feeling like I didn't read it in depth because I was rushing. JMap, a much needed open emailed standard. Yeah, uh-huh. We'll check that out too. And so yeah, so that is the way that works. The save tabs. I hope you find that valuable. Any of them, or none of them, or maybe you start keeping your own tabs. As you find websites valuable and stuff like that. And then the way it works is you can just go into your browser, into your settings, and then usually in here you can type in something like startup, and you can set your tabs to however you want. It's different on every browser, so I'm not really going to get into the specifics of everybody. Now, moving on, where's the Secure World article? Well, I know I promised it, but the more I reflected on it, the more I didn't really want to do it because number one, I left early because I was starving to death and I was hungry, and I could literally got bounced out of the line. I've been to I don't even know how many conferences. There's a lot of badges hanging back there. See all those badges? This is the only conference I've ever seen a bouncer standing at the beginning of a buffet line checking badges, and they had like free pass people, registered people, sponsored people, exhibitors, whatever. And if you had the free pass, which is what I did because I don't have a budget and to spend $700 on a ticket, I'm literally unemployed. Well, I self-employed, I guess, for the Chagrin Post. And yeah, they had a dude whose job was just to stand there and bounce people out of line. And so a lot of people didn't even watch the keynote speaker, which was disappointing because it was really great. Um, so what I'll do is I'll tell you what I learned while I was there. And first off, we had the CISO panel at 9 a.m. I wasn't in the VIP only panel, so I don't really know what's going on there. But we had Didi. I'm sorry, I was trying to. So we had Didi, Michael, Greg, Adnan, Linda, and Mario. Who had a great keynote. They answered some great questions about here, I have some great notes. All right, here we go. Look at all these notes I took. I took like 5 pages of notes only to get it like, ruined because I didn't eat lunch. And so what? Yeah. So basically, some of the feedback we got from the CISO panel um, is that number one, companies work in silos. That is the biggest problem because you can't. No one's talking to each other. Everyone's double working. How do we remove them? You got to meet underground. You need two CISOs, or in other words, two CISOs from different companies meet, or you meet, department leaders meet underground. It's ridiculous, but that's the way it is. Is these companies are all super siloed. One I can speak of a situation I've seen now 2 or 3 times where you have physical security people that don't talk to IT people that don't talk to cybersecurity threat teams because they all are like own their own, and there's gaps and it's dumb. There needs to be openness and communication, and that's kind of what Dee brought up was invite teams once a month into her office. She met with HR, legal, procurement, OT, IT, and they share agenda of what they've got going on, and creates bilateral communication with inside instead of everyone just like owning their own stuff. And I mean that's a great way to do it. You got to let's see, what else does it say? Get laws passed. That was a question from answer from Michael Gregg, which was you got to get laws passed to make stuff work. Add on different teams come up with different solutions, and you got to come together. Adoption, you come up with metrics for the solutions, which could be a process or a tool. Mario runs crisis management exercises with executives at least twice a year, one early for changes and one late for budget. which creates an extended cyber team and non-team champions in each silo. And so Mario is obviously a powerful force in cybersecurity globally, not just here in Houston, but he's so smart, and I think that's really great. So that leads organization to controlling skills, not just in technology, not just the tech. Does that make sense? I think it does. And then one of the things he was talking about was encouraging lifelong learning. And as those employees train and get certifications, also, I think they mentioned, I think it was Adnan who mentioned that they rotate cyber talent through different places and different positions within Schlumberger to give them to learn all aspects of the business. He says rotate them through all pillars, 4 to 6 months to learn all aspects of the business, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's incredible, and I think that's the way, because it seems like a lot of times you have people making decisions or making calls on things that they don't even know, have a clue what the real problem is. They've never seen it. They've never even been in the field. They don't have, I mean, I always like to say, like, they don't even have their TWIC cards, or when's the last time you saw a CISO put on a pair of Nomex and go out in a refinery or go actually look at what's going on? And the answer is most of them have not, but yet they're the one making the decisions, and that's kind of frustrating. So Didi, another question was about creating boundaries and being able to block calendar time to be strategic and tactical with your time, because it's like you can get really overwhelmed with handling so many problems or so many things. And Adnan kind of puts in a strict cutoff time of 9 p.m. for his laptop, which I've actually adopted a similar rule, which is I try not to bring my laptop into the bedroom anymore. And I've actually kind of like disconnected from my laptop a lot now. It used to be open 24/7 with me all the time. But now I'm really trying to break off of being so hooked onto the screen and the internet all the time, and really getting out and about, touching grass, going to the gym. Not really, but touching grass, walking, spending time with my dog, my family, getting out and about in the local community and exploring new businesses or, art events or whatever. We live in such an amazing place. And so establishing those boundaries, and Linda from Axiom Medical, she said that they actually have a policy for mental health days. Because in cybersecurity land, I think it is, or I don't even think it's just cybersecurity land anymore. I think it's in most roles. You can become too much, and there's a blurred line, especially with working from home or remote or hybrid flex work. There's this blurred line of like what's personal time and what's work time, and it's really hard to ignore these text messages or emails or Teams or Zooms or Outlook as they come through on your phone constantly. One note from myself, not that it matters, is Apple has a really great focus feature on their phone or on their laptops or any of their devices, where you can set up personal time, work time, do not disturb, sleep time, and you can customize it to what apps you want to let through and what people you want to let through. And I really have taken the time to do that, because I'm a type of person that, if there's a fire or a perceived fire or a perceived problem, I'm gonna work on it and try to fix it until it's fixed, to my detriment. um, but as I've gotten older and as I've learned from these successful people like Mario, Linda, Adnan, Michael, and Didi, I've learned that I need to set those boundaries, like Didi said, and really focus on my mental health, on when to say no. Um, One other note that Mario said during this panel, which I thought was great, was as employees get certified, to be sure that you work with HR, and they're paid commensurate to that level of certification, so they don't leave. He mentioned that Schlumberger pays for all their employees' certifications. Every certification I've ever gotten, I've paid for out of my own pocket. I've never been reimbursed by anybody, nor have I been offered. But that's because I've been traditionally in a sales and marketing role, which nobody cares about what's between my ears. It's more about like what can I get done quarter to quarter. But I think it's important to know about what I'm selling and the solutions I'm selling so I can make sure that I'm providing the best service, product, or solution possible for my clients. And which is why I've always taken it upon myself to learn or get certified, and become a subject almost as, I mean, yeah, become a subject matter expert in whatever it is I'm selling, whether that's digital twins, whether it's AI, laser scanning, photogrammetry, cybersecurity, technology, digital innovation, Apple products, etc. I've gone out and become an SME in those fields, because I have a problem, um, not selling things that I don't like. I have a problem selling things I don't believe in or that I don't know about. You know, and at the end of the day, it's my name on the line when I'm going out and talking to these companies, and I really like to know wholeheartedly that I am recommending the best solution or the best product to my knowledge, or at least be able to point um, my customer or client in the right direction. Um, or at least go find out the answer. And so that was that. As far as the CISO panel goes, one thing that I would like to point out is I don't know why people don't have privacy screens on all their stuff, but you should. I have a privacy screen on my phone. I have one on my laptop. Really incredible to see so many cybersecurity personnel and government officials just openly like working, on their laptops and on their phones and tablets in a room full of other cybersecurity personnel with no privacy filters and no. I mean, I even saw just like unlocked laptops just like sitting on desk, and it hurts my head. It hurts my head. Like if you're not taking the most basic precautions of to prevent even like shoulder surfing or whatever, then I don't know how to help you. Next thing I went to this web application APIs building a modern approach to vulnerability testing, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a little bit above my technical capabilities. Um, they talked about some stuff I really didn't understand, so I'm not even really gonna fill it in. But what I really wanted to see and what I really wanted to get to was this becoming cyber resilient with CISA. This is the lunch keynote where so I was salty. I got kicked out. Well, I got kicked out of the line. I was very excited and I was starving to death. And yeah, I got bounced out because I mean, yeah, it was free. I mean, it was a free pass, but like I said, I've never paid. I've never seen it. Never seen it. I mean, I'm there to be pitched, I'm there to be pitched. That's all day. I'm sitting through presentations of companies that spend thousands of dollars to have a booth there to have the opportunity to talk to me. Like you should I don't know. It doesn't make sense. So I think Secure World maybe has I don't know who's running. I don't know. I don't know. We're not gonna talk about it. But I won't be attending Secure World again, or sponsoring it, likely ever. You know. Um, so anyway, I got to pay attention. I got to finally listen to Darren McElroy he's the chief of cybersecurity for Region 6 for CISA, and he did a great presentation about having about becoming cyber resilient. Talked about phishing and how that's still a major problem. How not patching is still a major problem. Geopolitical tensions are huge right now, like I mentioned earlier with China and Russia, etc. We're being actively attacked on all fronts, for real. I mean, there's like an actual war going on, cyber war, which is pretty nuts. And that's why it's more important than ever for there to be a bidirectional partnership, private and public, with organizations like CISA and et cetera, to be sure that we're doing everything possible to educate, bring awareness, and reinforce the supply chains and small, medium businesses. At the end of the day, I mean, I did talk to Darren for a second, and what I said was, is I'm not worried about me or you. We're pretty paranoid, although reflecting back, I don't think they're paranoid enough, maybe. Um, but how do I explain it to my grandma, and how do I make sure that the 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 lower down companies in the supply chain have the right awareness and the right resources to prevent the infiltration up, because that's what's the majority of these hacks are coming from. Darren used the Target example as the Target hack example, as it came through a different part of the supply chain, a staging target, and then into the intended target. And I think that's very important, is to bring awareness to the resources out there. As CISA has a lot of great ones. We've talked about them already on the Chaddington Post. And I'll continue to share those as I come across them, free cybersecurity resources and things like that. One thing I'm going to caution you about, if you've made it this far, you're 30 minutes in, so I'm thinking that you're listening. And what I'm going to caution you on is everyone is trying to sell you a solution to a problem. Um, CISA, not really. They're federally funded, and they're doing things for free. Now, that being said, it ain't going to come quick, from what I've understood, and it's not the best of the best. Unfortunately, is what I've come to understand. But it's hard to compete with these other people who are paying so much more money for pen tests and audits and assessments and things like that. But I think AI is about to change a lot of it. And there's also a great resource I'm gonna shout out right now called pentester.com. If you have no budget or low budget, or even if you're just an individual, you should go check out pentester.com. Let me pull this up. It's $50 a month for a small business to do scans of your domain names and things like that. So you can do security tests. It even has some dark web password breaches and things like that. Uh, Fantastic tool. And it's not $10,000 a seat or whatever it is. It's $50 a month. And I think we're going to see a drastic reduction in cybersecurity pricing and things like that over the coming years. The coming year, really. I mean, it's going to be nuts. I think it's going to be really nuts, the amount of change that we're going to see. So that's all I got for Secure World, because after that I was starving to death and I left. So I didn't get to do anything else. Oh, that's not true. I went to the ISA South Texas chapter meeting, but that was and short and sweet. It was not at 5 p.m. 12:45 p.m. There you go. So what's next? I will be at Cybersecurity and Energy on June 28th at the Norris Centers in Houston, Texas. Same place as Secure World, I think. But I think I will get lunch this time. I was approved for a press pass. And so I'm excited about that. We got Marco, who I've spoken with before. We got Dee Dee, who I just mentioned. So some great people here, great minds to learn from. And Chris Walski, and I'm also sure there's something else going on. And so anyway, it'll be fun to learn. And so yeah, that's it I've got. So that's basically the save tabs. That's what's going on. That was Secure World. And podcast. Yeah. So I don't know what to do with the podcast yet. It's been tough with me being in between job stuff, or I don't know what I'm doing. So, and then it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm like I said, I want to do it right, and I want to find the time to do it, which is why I'm kind of doing this kind of long form video. Also, is this is kind of a stopgap for the pay. I'm sorry, for the podcast in between. So I'll actually probably just upload this as audio only as well. So if you're following on Apple Podcast, thank you. And if you're not following on Apple Podcast, go follow on Apple Podcast. And at some point there'll be something, probably. So yeah, that's 33 minutes. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much to all of you. We're up to 28 subscribers now, 28. On LinkedIn, I don't know how many we got. It's like 200 or something. But I need those 200 to come over to the Chaddington Post. Not that anybody's paying me. I've got 8 paid subscribers. I've got 28 free subscribers. So at 8 subscribers times $5 a month, or it's actually $4.17 a month. If you find $4.17 worth of cents, that's for as little as a cup of coffee a month. Less than a cup of coffee. I mean, for as little as that's a cup of water. Not even. I don't even know what you can get for $4 these days. But you can support the Chaddington Post and stop me from having to get a real job. The goal is to get 1,000 paid subscribers before the end of the year. I once saw that as reasonable. Now I'm starting to fade in my hopefulness. But nonetheless, we're going to keep putting out content for you as I come up with it. in my mind and as I think about it and, stuff like that. We have events coming up. Um, what else? It's kind of about it. Oh, yeah, I'm working on something. Yeah, I can't tell you about it. I signed in India. But yeah, so thanks for being here. Thanks for paying attention. And like, comments, share, subscribe, everything. And I hope this helps and empowers you a little bit, or at least you learned something or found it entertaining at the least. So yeah, thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll probably talk to you next week unless something crazy happens. So adios.